Hey y'all, it's Coach K and I want to welcome you to episode 7 of the Stimulus Package. Today we're going to be talking about momentum and sustainability. Alright, so as you all know, right now we are going through a crazy time, not only when it comes to COVID-19, but when it comes to race relations. And there's like a lot of things happening so quickly. There's so much information coming at you and so much to kind of download and understand. So this week I want to talk about how you can take advantage of the momentum and make sure that we turn this situation into a positive or use the momentum to shift the atmosphere. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is sustainability. Like, what do we do moving forward? Like, how can we continue to press forward instead of falling right back into our old habits or falling right back into the trap? So I think the first thing that we must do is examine our hearts and examine our motives. And not only examine ourselves, but to ask God to examine our heart and examine our motives and to reveal to us what we need to work on and reveal to us what we need to pinpoint. So what I mean by examine your heart is, and your motives, is basically think about, what am I trying to do? Like, what is motivating me to even be a part of the movement? Why do I find this important? What is fueling me when it comes to this? Is it anger? Is it hate? Is it love? Is it the desire to find a resolution? You need to really figure out what's motivating you and how this movement or situation impacts you. Just defining those things will help you move forward. All right, and the next thing we want to talk about is understanding that whenever it comes to a movement, there's always a time period set. There can be, the time period, it can be long, it can be short, it can be years, it can be decades, who knows? But there's always sacrifice involved, and there's always a time period, a process. I know a lot of y'all don't like that word process, but there's always a process involved. So I want you to take a moment to think about, like, what are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that this movement reaches its full potential? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to stop going to certain restaurants that you love to go to? Are you willing to move your money to another bank, or try to save money in hopes of buying property, or buying back the block? Are you willing to be the person that sees the bigger picture and tries to find solutions and utilize your own money to be able to make that vision become a reality? Start thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, what are you really willing to sacrifice? Because us going through and doing the protests and doing all of that, that is great. That's phase 1. Like, honestly, that is breaking up a lot of ground and opening doors for us, and conversations are starting to be had because people are aware. But the next step is us figuring out what we're going to do next. Like, what demands do we have, and what are we willing to sacrifice in order to make sure those demands are met? So I want you to do this on your own so that you can have your own vision. And then when we come together collectively, we can create our vision for our people. All right. The next thing I want you to do is to also think about your gifts. Last week I talked about that a little bit, but I want you to really sit down and think about everything that you have, your talents, your gifts, your platform, all of those different things. What can you contribute, like physically? What are your gifts? What can you do? Some people are good at organizing. Some people are good at rallying people together. Some people are good at designing. Some people are good at creating clothing, whatever. Just in general, what are you great at, and what can you contribute to the movement? What is your unique lane? Think about that this week and find a way to be able to, so that you can find a way to be a part of the movement in your own unique way. I don't want you to feel obligated to do things the same way someone else is doing it. Honestly, this is the time when we really need everyone to be collective together, but you still need to be who you are normally, your natural self. What do you do normally? Like, we need you to bring your unique talents to the table instead of trying to mimic what someone else is doing. So, I'm saying all this to say that we're in for a long road, y'all. It's not just going to be over after the protests die down. It's not going to be over that quickly. We have to organize and mobilize, and yes, it's going to cost. We have to sacrifice some things. Some things we're going to have to use our money for. Some things we're going to have to use our mind and our hearts and our spirit for. So I want y'all to think about what it means to get your heart posture right. Make sure that your motives in your heart is pure and that you have a clear understanding of why you're fighting this fight. Because if you don't have your why, you will get tired and you won't be able to sustain or maintain throughout this whole fight. So define your why, understand your motives in your heart, and make sure that you understand what you can contribute and what are you willing to sacrifice so that you can put yourself in position, and we can all use each other for this movement, because this is a real issue and it's all of our problem. It's not just one person's problem, it's all of our issues. So, all right, y'all, I love y'all. I'm so excited to work with so many people, and I'm praying that we're able to find some type of resolution to this craziness. But until then, I want you to still make sure you maintain your joy. I know it's hard to do that with all of this going on, but you cannot let the enemy steal your joy. Continue to be happy, joyous, love on your family, love on your friends, and try to find the light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the day, we're fighting it together. You're not alone. God is with you, and collectively, we will find some type of resolve. All right, so I love y'all. Talk to y'all next week. Be blessed. Bye.